Hello, fam. Oh my gosh, I'm so happy. The sun is out. What a blessing that is. I have missed some sunshine. So we are in James 4 today. As you can tell, there's a lot going on here. So I just pray this message is clear and that we all get something out of it and learn more about Jesus through this. But James 4 is two parts. So first part, submit yourselves to God. And what I feel like I've learned so much is that until you fully submit to God, you're living in this back and forth, right? We want God's blessings, but we don't want to fully submit to Him. And so then you're living in this in between. So then you still feel kind of like you're trying to please the world, but you're trying to please God. And it's just this in-between stage that feels terrible. And I can say that because that's where I was for so long. And so it's not that you aren't ever going to feel God's blessings, but you're still having all these feelings and emotions, and you feel unsettled, and it comes from just trying to do too much. We're trying to please too many people instead of just pleasing God. We can't be friends of the world and friends of God. It's just, that's not how it works. If we're friends with the world, we are actually enemies of God. And so we need to focus on Him. We need to repent and return to Him. And commit to God and resist the devil. It says down here in verse 7, submit yourselves then to God. Resist the devil and he will flee from you. Come near to God and he will come near to you. And so further down it says, grieve, mourn, and wail. That's talking about your sin. So how we should be over our sin. When we understand how big our sin is, that's when we, it's easier for us to say, oh wow, like my sin is that big, it's that important. I need to not do that, because that's what's causing so much distance between me and God. It's not just another thing, it's not just a rule I broke. No, that's creating distance between you and God. And so we need to repent of our sin, but also know that He is so gracious and merciful and loves us so much that we can go to Him and He is just going to love us and give us grace. And so we're looking for that change chart, as we talk so much about. And then the second part of James 4 is boasting about tomorrow. So it's just warning against a spirit of arrogance. So it's not saying you can't make plans, you can't plan certain things in your life, but we also need to trust the will that God has for us. Okay? So when we think about what's next in our lives, why don't we just live in the will of God? And some of you might be like, well, what is the will of God? It actually says here in verse 17, if anyone then knows the good they ought to do and doesn't do it, it is sin for them. So sometimes, guys, we can say like, well, I don't know what God's will is for my life. Okay, but there are things that we do know. We know that we are to be holy and sanctified, to love Him, to love our neighbors, to help the widow, to help the orphan. And so there's so many things that we can do day to day to just live in His will. It's not that it's always going to be like spelled out for us, okay? So, and we can do that all under His sovereign care. So just remember that. We might feel like we might not know all the ways to go, but there are certain things we do know, and that's living a life with Christ and being more like Him. And right there, you are living in His will. So I hope you guys have a blessed day. Remember just to have humility in your heart and trust in Him for everything that you guys need. Thank you so much. So blessed that you're here with me, and just have a great day.